When the final whistle blew at the Emirates in Arsenal's last pre-season friendly, the emphatic 3-0 victory over Athletic Bilbao was far more than just a positive result. It was a detailed sketch, a tantalizing glimpse of a more fearsome Arsenal in the making. And at the heart of that performance, the club's two marquee summer signings, Gyökeres and Zubimendi, shone brilliantly. They weren't merely additions to the squad, they looked like players capable of redefining the entire way the Gunners play. This clash with Bilbao felt like Mikel Arteta planting a bold flag of intent. It showcased a team with not only depth, but also a newfound fluidity, individuals with the quality to change a game in an instant. Gyökeres opened his Arsenal account. Zubimendi orchestrated the midfield like a maestro, and those around them seemed to be operating at a different frequency, more direct, more dangerous. Together, they painted a picture of an Arsenal ready to challenge for the Premier League crown and make their presence felt in Europe. For Gyökeres, the spotlight was particularly intense. After a quiet debut against Villarreal, the pressure was palpable. A €63.5 million signing, tasked with becoming Arsenal's new number 9. The ruthless goal machine the club has been craving for years. But on this Emirates evening, the Swedish striker didn't just meet expectations, he owned the stage. From the moment his name echoed through the stadium, the loudest applause belonged to him. And he repaid that faith with the kind of performance that Premier League folklore is built upon. A classic center-forwards display. Gyökeres didn't just loiter in the box waiting for scraps. He prowled between spaces, used his physicality to hold up play, and constantly asked questions of the Bilbao defense. Every movement carried the menace of a predator, a striker who needs only a single touch to turn the game. The defining moment, of course, was his goal. When Zubimendi delivered a perfectly measured cross from the right, Gyökeres read the flight instantly, rose above everyone, and powered a header into the far corner. It wasn't luck, it was a masterclass in movement, positioning, and aerial dominance, the hallmarks of a striker built for the unforgiving demands of English football. And then came the celebration. Urged on by his new teammates, Gyökeres broke into his trademark routine, instantly bonding with the Emirates faithful. The stadium erupted. Arsenal had a new hero. And Gyökeres wasn't done. He came within inches of a brace when he launched himself at a whipped cross from Noni Madueke, only to see Unai Simon pull off a world-class save, tipping the ball onto the post. Beyond the goal, what stood out was his link-up play, the way he knitted Arsenal's attacks together. That understanding with his teammates will only grow sharper as the season unfolds. Mikel Arteta couldn't hide his satisfaction afterwards. He pins both center-backs. He's a player that if you leave him with space 1 against 1, he's gonna destroy you, so he's going to create a lot of space for us. In any situation, there is a player there that can score a goal. Yes, there were moments when his footwork in the build-up looked a little rough around the edges, but that was a tiny blemish on what was otherwise a near-perfect display. Arsenal now have a striker who scores, who presses, and most importantly, who provides a clear focal point for everything they do in the final third. If Gyökeres is the spearhead, Zubimendi is the hand that holds it steady and guides its strike. The Spaniard continued his outstanding pre-season with another masterclass, reminding everyone exactly why Arsenal pursued him so persistently. Operating as the deepest midfielder, Zubimendi exuded an almost eerie calm. He was a metronome in motion, dictating tempo with crisp, quick, precise passes. His ability to wriggle out of pressure and retain possession in tight spaces was pure class. But he's no static anchor. He's the perfect complement to Declan Rice in Arsenal's double pivot system. The dynamic between Rice and Zubimendi is already proving fascinating. As Arteta put it, especially with the qualities they have and the way they complement each other. So another evolution on that today, and something the team can really benefit from, to be much more unpredictable and be more of a threat. Zubimendi often started deepest, but there were moments when Rice dropped back to shield the defense, freeing the Spaniard to push higher and help orchestrate play. That constant rotation and fluid exchange of roles make Arsenal's midfield far less predictable and far harder to contain. Freed from the sole responsibility of dictating play, Declan Rice was able to unleash a different weapon in his arsenal. Raking pinpoint passes over the top to Bukayo Saka that injected real pace into the Gunners' attacks. Meanwhile, Zubimendi's tactical intelligence had him constantly in the right place at the right time, breaking up play when needed, timing his tackles perfectly, and serving as a safe, reliable outlet in possession. The high point of Zubimendi's evening was his assist for Gyökeres. It wasn't just a cross, it was a work of art, whipped in with perfect spin and trajectory, marrying technical quality with razor-sharp vision. If he can produce deliveries of that caliber consistently, Zubimendi will be nothing short of a revelation in North London. For the first time, fans got to witness Arsenal's dream midfield trio of Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Rice starting together. And they didn't disappoint. Odegaard operated in his familiar right-sided pocket, Rice covered vast swathes of ground, and Zubimendi pulled the strings from deep. It was a beautifully balanced triangle of strength, skill, and intelligence, the kind of foundation that could launch a title challenge. One of the recurring themes of Arsenal's pre-season has been a shift in attacking approach. Faster, more direct, more ruthless. This game against Bilbao was perhaps the clearest example yet. Gone were the slower, over-elaborate passing sequences. Instead, Arsenal actively sought to exploit the spaces behind the opposition backline. No one benefited more than Bukayo Saka. Time and again, he was picked out by those long, arcing balls from Rice and Odegaard. With his velvet first touch, Saka glided past defenders and caused chaos. The second goal was a perfect example of this new intent. Odegaard slipped a delicate pass into the path of Martinelli, whose burst in behind left Bilbao scrambling. The Brazilian squared it unselfishly for Saka, who tapped into an empty net. The presence of Gyökeres up front only amplifies this style of play. Not every move ended in a goal, but the signs were undeniably promising. Kai Havertz, coming off the bench, also sent out a timely reminder of his worth. When Saka hooked a clearance up towards midfield, Havertz showed razor-sharp instincts, bursting forward with power, winning a physical duel, and coolly slotting home to make it 3-0. This season, his role may well evolve. No longer Arsenal's go-to centre-forward, the German's intelligent off-the-ball movement and clinical edge could make him the ultimate super sub, or a devastating tactical wildcard. Then there was Riccardo Calafiori. In just 45 minutes, the Italian gave a glimpse of what he brings to the table. Operating as a traditional left-back, he overlapped tirelessly with Martinelli, charging forward with intent. His runs stretched the play, widened Arsenal's attacking shape, and in doing so inadvertently carved out more space for Saka to exploit on the opposite flank. It's the kind of tactical weapon that could help dismantle deep, compact defenses, the very type Arsenal have often struggled against. Above all, this was another sign of Arsenal's tactical evolution. The Gunners are no longer shackled to one style of play. They can dominate the ball with patience and precision, but they're equally ready to go direct and punish opponents with pace. The fluidity of the Rice-Zubimendi axis, the threat from marauding fullbacks, and the ability to strike from multiple positions across the front line make this Arsenal side a machine that's incredibly hard to stop. And now the stage is set. In just a week's time, the new Premier League season kicks off with a stormy trip to Old Trafford. But after what we've seen, especially from their new recruits, Arsenal have every reason to believe. This is a version of Arsenal built not just to compete, but to instill fear, as they march into a campaign aimed at restoring their glory days and reclaiming their place among the game's elite.